A master doesn't let their past touch the canvas. Write until the writing writes you. Sing until the song sings you. Sing until there is no more you in the music. Create a window to God. As long as there's me in the song, something is wrong. Making art can be your meditation practice. Ritualize your art sessions. Make a cup of coffee. Pray. Submit yourself to your art and align with life. Leave yourself at the door. The holy shrine of your art studio doesn't let a fool enter. Life takes you, and you are no more. A fool takes his dirt, his identity, his past, and puts it on the canvas. A master doesn't let their past touch the canvas. A master lets life touch the canvas. Transmute the past, the form you've assumed, through making art. Transmute the pain and align with life. Spiritual work cannot be skipped, but alignment with the soul is the first step. If you don't taste your soul, if you don't know life, then what are we talking about? You must know your untarnished soul, which is free now and untouched by the world. Untarnished, pure, remembering that love's the cure, bathing in divinity, embodied holy trinity. Can you tell the wheat from the weeds? You must taste life first. Then you know life from death, and we can work on clearing your vessel. Now, life becomes your teacher, and in living life, you look into the mirror. What you've accumulated makes you participate in life and disperse your consciousness outward. In meditation, you rest in your being. You are in the world, but not of the world, but the world will pull you outward. You have hooks. Your identity is the hook that needs to be untangled and surrendered. In moments when the world pokes you, you remember your soul and say, "This is not inherent in my being. I don't want to repeat cycles and behaviors. I am humble enough to let my ego go and surrender my stance. I don't act on my past, aka ego. I choose otherwise." It's a choice. You can undo your past. What you've collected, you can choose to let go. You can decide to return to your Father. Remember the prodigal son? It is your choice to return, and you will see you never left. You are your soul. You always were your soul. You merely forgot. Once you undo enough, you see through the curtain, and you rest in the knowledge of your freedom. You trust that you are a part of creation and are not forgotten. You rest in knowing that your salvation is the world you see. It will perfectly take you home. Life carries you. You are not in a cage. But how do you tell someone to swim as they're drowning? A breakthrough needs to happen. For a split moment, you must look within and recognize the truth of your being. You must see through the web of lies. Someone has to impart that experience to you, and you must be ripe to receive it. Living words and objects, aka art, impart that experience, for they were not created by recycling the past. They were created through a state of pure being, and so they capture life. They point to God, and when you look, you submit yourself, and the looking is left. The perception is left. These objects were conceived alone. and hence are consumed alone. These objects collapse separation into the whole. The art's purpose? To make whole. Grace and holy art. No one imparts that experience. There is no one to impart or consume. There is a sharing of a space of pure being, and it is up to you to recognize and remember yourself. Once you taste life, you can return to life. You cannot speak about something that's not a derivative. It's merely a pleasurable play to describe reality beyond the projection. But the words simply paint. It is your heart that receives. You cannot think your way to your heart. You are not supposed to make art, but be your art. Your work is not an accumulation, but your practice of dissolution. Hide it all in your art. Preserve it with your heart. Living, emanating art that points to God. Consecrate your art. Make your art come alive in the world. Let your art do the job. Fuel your art with the truth of the universe in a state of pure being in communion. How can you share the truth but with direct experience? Either you give a taste or you confuse. Let the listener and perceiver end in truth. Let them sit with you. Let them experience you. An exchange of God through different vessels. Direct transmissions, collapsing separation into wholeness. The art's purpose to make whole. That is grace and holy art. Teach Dharma through art. Death is not art. Living teaching imparts direct experience through vibrating words brought forth by a clear vessel in meditation. Dharma is the unity of existence, the collective being. Living art is pulsating, vibrant, alive nectar that imparts direct experience of the ultimate reality. Selflessness, humbleness, and humility are the doors. Complete trust and surrender to life and creation are the doors. Rest through action. Create through being. Don't teach, make art. Teach with art. All ends in art that teaches. That's the end game for artists. Art with essence. Pulsating art, vibrant, pure. Art with self-protected hidden gems, accessible to the living. Mistaken for average and boring. Art like all art. Your art is you. An artifact of you. Who are you? Clear your being and share your truth. The truth that only you can share. Your natural soul expression. Authenticity. Not an accumulation of the past. You in free roaming intimacy. You without images. You without the past. Clarity. Arrive at clarity by surrendering the past. Seemingly fixed information melting into the whole. Strain collapsing into silence. What is left is you resting in your soul, where you sit right now. Where do you sit? Who is sitting? Who is speaking and who is receiving? Who absorbs and who emits? It is all the same where we stand. First of all, become sane. Then you may poke others to sanity in your own way. Your way is art, I presume. How brilliant that spirituality and art are one divine play. I'd love to initiate you into the spiritual path of art. Find the link in the show notes.